You guys, two quick clarifications here. First, why a separate fall state instead of one jump state? Splitting them lets us treat going up and coming down differently, and it's where you would add a double jump later if you ever wanted to. Second, when we land, we go straight back into walking or running instead of bouncing through idle state. That tiny shortcut keeps moving feeling instant instead of very joggy or laggy. That's what makes the difference between a Souls-like and a regular RPG. In the next part, now that we've finally finished the walk, idle, and sprint state, we now want to do jump and land. I'm going to duplicate the idle state as a start. I'm going to do jump state, duplicate one more time, and we'll add a landing state. Make sure you rename both class name states right here, jump state and land state. And now we won't have any errors. We'll start with the jump state. So this is the essentially going upwards. In here, we're going to need 5 different variables, and I'm going to replace the current ones with jump force, air control, move speed, tracking angular speed, and has jump. These are all very useful variables that you'll see how we implement it in just a minute, but most of them do exactly what it says. So this is the initial jump force that boots us upwards, basically. This is how much control we have in the air. This is how much we're allowed to move in the air. And this is the angular speed, which we're allowed to rotate in the air. And these are all very good variables to actually allow us to control. And I do also suggest you play around with these numbers. I've just kind of added whatever I feel is best and whatever feels smooth to me. Now we can go ahead and delete most of this code. We'll start off by saying if has not jumped and player is on floor, we can add the velocity to our player. Now this is a very, very basic jump. It's actually the same code as the default, where we basically just set the velocity of y equal to the jump force. And of course we need to set has jumped equal to true. Now, pretty much all that's left is to add the gravity, which we do right here. And if our velocity reaches negative, this means, like, if our velocity is negative, that means we're now going downwards, which should mean that we're falling. Sometimes we might not be falling immediately, but usually we will transition immediately to fall. And we will add conditions inside the fall state to make sure we account for any other like issues. Now, the next part, that tricky part, is going to be the air control. Now, some of this code you've already seen before, but basically we need to get the input direction from the input controller. We'll check to see if there's a camera. If there is, we get the right and forward. From there, we make sure to set it all to 0 and normalize it. Now, at this point, we'll basically do very similar logic to what we did in our camera, but this is just to rotate a little slower, essentially. That's basically all it is. It's to use our tracking angular speed. That's pretty much all we're doing. We're just kind of overriding the player rotation rather than using anything else. And that's it. This is our jump state. From here, though, we're going to need a fall state now, because you'll notice that we're transitioning to fall. So let's go ahead and duplicate our jump state and say fall. Open up the fall state and replace the class name with fall. We are going to need similar variables. We're not going to need has jumped, and we're not going to need jump force, but we will need these 3. So just keep those. One other thing I just realized I forgot is the animation. So make sure you set the animation in here and the jump state. Over here, we'll say jump. I believe it's jump start. Let's just double check with the animation tree. Jump start, jump loop, and land. So that is correct. And go back into our fall state. And our fall state is actually going to be the exact same thing, but without the jump. And of course, if the velocity is, we don't like negative than 0, we don't need that. We need something else, which is if our player is on the floor, then we transition to landing. And that's it. Our fall and jump state are complete. It's pretty simple because both are pretty much the same code. We just need to remove the jump from the fall state. Obviously, it'd be kind of weird if we're jumping again in the fall state. Now, we could add conditions to double jump inside the fall state. So keep that in mind. If you ever want to add double jumps or triple jumps in your game, you can either add that in the fall state or jump state. I do personally find it better to add it in the fall state. When I made platformers, I have other series on my channel if you guys want to check that out, where I add double jumps, triple jumps. And it makes the game feel a little smoother when we add a double jump inside the fall state rather than the jump state itself. And now for the landing state. This one is much, much easier, so don't worry too much. We're simply going to add a landing duration and a landing timer. And inside the animation name, we're just going to change it to land. When we enter this state, though, we want to half our velocity. This kind of slows us down. This will basically just make sure that whatever velocity I had gets cut in half, because whenever we land, that usually should kind of stop us from running, right? Now, inside of the physics update, instead, of course, we'll take our current velocity and bring it to 0, and we'll do that for the X and Z. And of course, we'll make sure to add gravity if we're not on the floor. Obviously, this shouldn't happen since we're on land, but if this ever bugs out, it's always important to have like a backup for whatever might happen. Now, that is kind of the bulk of this code, but there is one more thing we want to add in here. And we're actually going to override the update function, which we have inside the state. So right here, we have this function, but we're actually going to add to it. So right now, that function basically has nothing in most states, but in this state, we're going to add a check. And what we're checking for is if the landing timer is less than 0, and if the input controller is less, if the input controller movement input dot length is bigger than 0.1, this means that we're actually trying to click something, right? We're essentially trying to put in movement. Then, well, we want to move, and we can. Well, there's 3 options. If we're sprinting, then we run. Otherwise, we walk. Now, if I'm not doing any input, that means I'm just going to transition to idle. And that kind of gets rid of our transitions out of the landing state. You might have noticed inside the physics, we didn't add anything like that. Now you could, of course, add a transition into idle after the animation's done. That's totally an option. But the advantage with this is that we're not wasting time by going from idle to walk, from land to idle to walk. This way we can immediately transition from land state into run state if we want, or into walk state. So imagine if we're going from land to idle to walk. We were kind of wasting a bit of time transitioning to idle state before transitioning into walk state, right? So we would want to transition immediately to run or walk. And of course, if we're not doing either of those, to idle. And that is it. So let's close our scripting and give it a try. And immediately I'll notice that it's not going to work because we didn't even add the states that we just created. So let's go ahead and do that before we actually try testing anything. Let's add jump state, land state, and fall state, and make sure to rename them with fall, land, or rename it to whatever you have your code set to. So mine is just idle, walk, jump, etc. All right, so there is a bug, but most of it did actually work. You'll notice that this is actually the fall state. So it looks like we're stuck in the fall state, but it does seem like the jump state worked, but we're just going to double check before we stop the game. So if we go to the current state, we are stuck in the jump loop. So that should be the fall state. So essentially we're stuck in this state, and it's pretty obvious the problem here. It seems we're not transitioning because I transitioned to something wrong. So let's make sure we fix that and try again. And there we go. We just implemented a full jump state. Oh, it seems like there's another bug. We don't seem to be jumping properly anymore. So let's take a look at what's going on there. All right, the issue is the jump state, the has jumped equals true. We never set it back to false. So we need to do that inside the enter, and that should fix our problem. Super small bug. That was a little oversight on my part, but now we can jump over and over again. And you'll see that little stutter that when I land, it kind of stops my player essentially, but I can transition immediately from the jump into a running state immediately. And it's pretty smooth. But yeah, of course, you guys, I do encourage you guys to play around with the fall land things, especially the duration of the land. I found 0.3 pretty decent, but if you make it shorter, that's fine too. If you make it longer, that's also okay. It kind of just depends on how you want your Souls-like to work, because the jump itself is actually a pretty big part of Souls-likes, because that gives the player less time to react to things, right? Because you can't interrupt that landing animation unless you decrease this number. So that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next part for building our world a little bit. All right, so at this point, we've added our player, but you'll notice our scene is pretty ugly. It doesn't look very nice. And it doesn't look the same as here. And I'll show you why, and then I'll also explain, or I'll show you how to create this scene, and then why. So first, we need to add a world environment. This will immediately make our world different. And the reason why this wasn't like this is if I delete this world environment, you'll notice this right here, the toggle preview environment. This is toggling as if we have, I wouldn't say the ideal environment, but it's kind of the default. It's just like a sky and whatever. And that's exactly where we're going to set up. So we're going to create an environment here by saying new environment, and we're going to go to background. We're going to go to sky, go into the sky, and make sure we actually give it a sky material. We'll do procedural, And now our scene looks pretty much the same. And at this point inside of our game, it does look better, but you'll notice it doesn't look exactly the same. And there's even a shadow inside, and ours doesn't have that. And that is because we need to add a light. If we add a light like directional light or omni light, let's do directional light for now. And I bring it up, you'll notice the direction is going straight to the right. But if I bring it down or even at an angle a little bit and hit play, you'll see our world has brightened up much, much more. And if you want to enable shadows inside the directional light, you can turn on shadow, hit play, and now you'll see our shadow from our player. Just a quick note, I wouldn't recommend using shadows too often. With directional light, I wouldn't recommend turning it on at all, mainly because this will add a shadow to every object in the game. There are ways of optimizing in 3D. At the moment, you will notice that there's any difference in performance. You're probably working fine. Just a quick checkpoint. Look at what we've got. A fully animated player with idle, walk, run, jump, fall, and landing. Camera relative movement, a 3D person, a third-person camera, a centralized input system with buffering, and a stamina system, all on a clean state machine foundation. That was a big mouthful, but it's a lot. The character feels good to control, so congratulate yourself, pat yourself on the back a little bit, take a break if you need to, but now it's time to make him a little bit more dangerous by adding some attacks. And that's because we only have a player and a block. But as you expand your world and you add many, many more objects, the game will lag very, very fast. So do look into optimizing videos or optimizing 3D if you want to look up videos, or if you want to check out my channel or on my website. I should have some 3D optimization videos coming soon. By the time you watch this, it might be already out. So go ahead